Hi everyone and welcome back to Refined Wellness. In this video, we're going to be discussing 5 ways to heal your gut. My name is Megan Taylor. I'm a functional medicine practitioner. I help you simplify healing by getting to the root cause of your symptoms in your God-designed body. Today, we will be discussing 5 ways to heal your gut lining. These steps were adapted from the Functional Medicine Institute. I want you to keep in mind as we work through this that these steps don't necessarily have to be done in order, and you as an individual person might have to take these steps out of order. This is not an individualized plan to you, and this is in no way medical advice. So let's get started. We are going to be discussing the 5 R's of gut healing. The first R is remove. It is so hard to heal your God-designed gut if you're constantly putting things in that are damaging to it. A lot of people don't realize that constantly taking things like ibuprofen or drugs like Indocin or anything for pain that is called a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory is very damaging for your gut lining. So you want to remove those types of things if you're taking them daily. You also want to pay attention to your labels. If you are eating a lot of foods that contain dyes and thickeners, your gut has a really hard time healing. There's a great site called EWG, and you can type in any brand and it will give you a scale on 0 to 10, and 10 being the worst and 0 being the best. It will tell you where your product falls. I don't like to obsess over ingredients, but I do think that it's really important to start being mindful because there's so much junk that is added into our food these days. Even things like protein powders. They are adding things like heavy metals and a lot of thickeners that are really damaging to your gut over time. Things like gluten, it's not necessarily the gluten that's the problem. It's typically the glyphosate that is being sprayed on the food that is really irritating to the gut. Other things you want to be really mindful of that we talked about in our previous video are things like polyunsaturated fats and cooking with them. When you are cooking with things like canola oil, soybean oil, palm oil, when you are heating it to a certain temperature, it is becoming rancid and then you're eating it and it's really damaging to your gut. So those are simple things that you need to remove if you're going to be going on a journey of gut healing. Now, I'm not saying become obsessive about these things, but I do think that it's really important that if you're eating out every single day that you start cutting back. Maybe if you eat out 3 times a week, start eating out 2 times a week. And the reason you want to do that is because when you're eating out, most restaurants cook with inflammatory oils because they are a lot cheaper. And so if you are cooking at home and you can use things like ghee and butter to fry things in and then olive oil to top things with, or even coconut oil, those are really healing for your gut, and we'll talk about that more in a minute. So first step, remove those harsh ingredients. The next step is to replace. We want to remove the inflammatory ingredients and then we want to make sure that we're replacing it with something else. So these include gut healing foods such as bone broth. I like to make my own. I can include a recipe in the comment section, but there's also places like Kettle and Fire that sell really good, clean bone broth. And the reason we really like bone broth is because it is so healing for your gut. It contains amino acids that are really soothing to your gut, and it's delicious. So I will include a recipe in the bottom here. I like to have 1 to 2 cups daily. When I was healing my gut, I really strove to have at least 2 cups daily. And one quick way to have a high protein gut healing snack is to take 1 egg and crack it into your broth and froth it. And between the broth and the egg, you have a high protein, nourishing drink for your gut lining. So we can replace inflammatory foods with something like this. Other types of food that you can add into your diet that are really gut healing are anti-inflammatory herbs like rosemary, garlic, turmeric. Olive oil is very gut healing. Coconut oil, high fiber foods. Most Americans do not eat enough fiber a day. You want to shoot for at least 20 grams or more of fiber a day. And the reason for this is because it will help you if you suffer with chronic constipation. Some ideas might be stewed prunes or cooked pears, cooked apples. There's so many ideas for getting more fiber into your diet. I actually will include a free gut healing guide in the comment section of this as well, and it will list some of those foods for you. So add more fiber into your diet. And then other foods you want to add into your diet are foods that are high in omega-3 fatty acids, and these are foods like fatty fish. The third R is reinoculate. You want to reinoculate with the good bacteria because over time, if we are someone who has received a lot of antibiotics, you have totally wiped out the good bacteria in your gut. You've gotten rid of the bad, but you also got rid of the good along the way. And most people these days have received a lot of high dose antibiotics. And so we really want to, along this journey, reinoculate our gut. And we do that by eating foods that are high in probiotics and prebiotics. I personally like to get my probiotics from food. So I do things like kefir, yogurt, kombucha, but you can also supplement in pill form with probiotics. And I included a list of probiotics in the gut healing guide that will be available in the comment section once again. But I personally like to get these from foods. I also enjoy Paleo Valley probiotic rich beef sticks. I have a code for you. It is PVFriend15 and you can save on your purchase from Paleo Valley. I personally, when I was a busy floor nurse, I would like to keep these in my bag as a high protein snack, and then they're also rich with probiotics. You really want to make this journey as easy on yourself as possible. Otherwise, you really won't stick to it. You'll be like, this is too much. I don't want to do this. But if you start making just simple decisions each day, like packing a protein-rich and probiotic-rich snack, it will enable you on your journey to stay consistent with your gut healing. So again, that was Reinoculate. You can do this with probiotic supplements or get it through your food. Then the fourth R is repair. We want to seek to repair our intestinal lining, and we want to do this with things like mucilaginous herbs or bone broth. Again, is really nourishing for the gut lining. There are also blends of supplements that you can get. One that I really like is called GIN Caps by Thorne, and it is a combination formula of mucilaginous herbs, and I usually recommend a client finish 1 to 2 bottles and see how you feel after that. Or a few independent herbs are something called DGL. Marshmallow aloe vera is really good for your gut lining. There is L-glutamine. I will link the blends that I mentioned in the video in the comment section of this as well. Polyphenols are really helpful for the gut lining, and those are things like quercetin and curcumin. And then the fifth R is regulate or rebalance your nervous system. In my opinion, this is one of the most important steps that you can take to heal your gut lining, because you can do all the gut cleanses in the world. You can do all the detoxes. You can heal your gut lining, but if you do not address your chronic stress, it is just going to come back. All your symptoms are going to come back. Because when you are chronically stressed, your body stimulates stress hormones that are really toxic for your gut lining if they are left unchecked over time. It also dilutes your stomach acid, because again, if you are running for your life, why would your body want to be digesting food? We've already talked about how important stomach acid is for actually absorbing and using your nutrients. And so if you are someone that is replacing your stomach acid with digestive enzymes or digestive bitters, but you're not dealing with your chronic stress, it's really just going to create a mess of things, and you're going to have to eventually deal with the stress to ultimately heal your gut in the long run. So those are the 5 R's for gut healing that I have for you today. I hope that you found this information valuable. If you did, please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time.